Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's look I am currently wearing. Let's jump straight into this autumn inspired look. So let's just jump right in. I've already done my brows off camera. I am trying to keep this a drugstore friendly tutorial because I know a lot of people who follow me, they like cheaper products, like things they can find in the shop. They don't want to go and spend like 40 quid on a palette or something. These weren't drugstore, these were using the Anastasia Dip Brow, which I use most of the time anyway. So let's go ahead straight into the eyes. For the eyes, I'm going to take the P. Louise base in number 1. I always use P. Louise base on every single look. No matter what look I'm doing, I need this base on. I'm taking this on a flat brush. Any flat brush will do as long as it's like super flat. This is a Peaches and Cream one. And I'm just going to start by patting it all over the eye. Then I'm going to take the base and go right underneath the brow. So just cutting underneath the brow, make sure the brow's really sharp. Now I'm going to go into the eyeshadow, which is the most important part. It's probably why you're here. So I'm going to go into the BPerfect Clientele palette. Now this is a bit expensive, but it is in the drugstore. It's in Superdrug. I don't know how much it is. I think it's like 35, 40 pounds or something like that. Get it on the Christmas sale or the Boxing Day sale. It's a good time to get it. And it's just basically full of all these neutral colours. It's got neutral pinks, browns, everything you can ask for. So for the first shade, I'm going to go into the shade Too Much, which is this very, very deep brown. And I'm taking it on a very small fluffy brush. This is from Peaches and Cream as well. And I'm just going to start mapping out where I want my crease to go. So I always start with the deepest shade, unless it's black. I don't ever start with black eyeshadow. Not that insane. Getting the shape I want first. I'm going to bring it quite down into the inner corner. And then when I've done this like inner corner crease colour, I start on the outer corner. Just so I can kind of map out where I'm going to go with it, because if I start going all the way down I might miss a bit, it might go dodgy. You never know. And then just adding more colour in. I just take the same colour and just put a lot of it in the middle. Just so there's a lot of colour there, so when I blend it, it's not washed out. I'm going to take a little blending brush. So I'm taking the Morphe M562, which favourite little fluffy blender. And I'm just going to lightly brush along the edges. So I don't do these circular motions. I do side to side and I just brush the edges. Just so they're a little buffed out, not too much, but just a little bit. Now for the next colour, I'm going to go into the colour Gigi, I think, which is this kind of burgundy, reddish, neutral, I don't know what it is. It's a bit purple, it's a bit brown, it's a bit all over the place. And I'm just going to take that, because I want it to be kind of pinky toned, but we're going to blend it out with brown, so it's all kind of mixed together. I'm going to put this right, not where we blended, but like on the edge, so right on the edge. And this is just another fluffy brush, well, a small fluffy brush. This is just gonna really pack the pigment on. Working little bits first, like I'm working in this area first. And just another fluffy brush, same as before. And the same technique, just blending that out. Just blending the edges. And now I'm going to take the shade Sweet As, which is this little pinky peach shade. So I'm going to take this shade on a very fluffy brush. It's the same brush I used to blend out, just a clean one. And I'm just going to go along that edge and blend down. Same technique as before, just a different shadow. Now with this look, I think I'm using like 5 different eyeshadows for the crease. So you can cut it out, you can do however many you like. And then to blend that out, I'm going in with another, you guessed it, another fluffy brush. And all these are clean brushes, by the way. You could just clean the brushes you were using before, but I don't want anything to get like mucky or to go everywhere. And normally using different brushes that are clean helps you out more. Going in with the Doll Beauty brush in DB13. So I'm going into this brownie shade and I'm just gonna lightly go over the top of that pink. Same method as before, the same method I did with the other shades. You're basically just repeating that technique again and again and further going out. And for the final shade, I'm going to go in with Peach Out, which is this peach shade. It's like a very peachy orange light tone. And I'm going to go in with a very fluffy brush. This is from Kit Stars. And I'm just going to loosely go over all the edges. Now this is a shade you can kind of get a bit messy with because it's the last blend, so you're just blending everything out. Just make sure you keep the shape the same, because if you start going out and all over the place, you've ruined all that work you've done. Then I'm going to add a little bit of a brow bone shade. I think I'm going to go in with the Glow Up, which is like the lightest shimmer. Right on the brow bone. Then I'm going to blend it with the Peach Out shade. And then just a little pinch of the black eyeshadow in the palette. This is called Just Black. And I'm just going to pinch it right on the outer corner. I'm not using too much because it's going to get cut out and thrown all over the show. But I'm just deepening up the crease. So now I'm going to cut the crease. I'm going to do the Vaseline method. I've got this big tub of Vaseline here. It's the only Vaseline I have and it's almost the size of my head. So I'm going to take some of this. I just take a bit on the back of my hand. That's a lot. And I'm going to take a very thin and flat brush. I think the P. Louise cut crease brushes are perfect for this. That's what they're made for. And I'm just going to start drawing, like literally just cutting the crease with the Vaseline. So normally just draw where I'm going to take it and then I take it a lot higher. Now I basically mapped out the crease with the Vaseline. I'm going to take a little makeup wipe and literally just wipe off where you've cut the crease. Just wipe off the Vaseline you've put on and it'll just cut the crease for you. It's super easy. It's the best way of doing it and I do it every single time. So that's what we've got, we've wiped it off. So now I'm going to take the base that we used before on another P. Louise flat brush, a little bit smaller than the brush we used for the actual base. And I'm just going to pat that in that space. For the end I just take my finger and just literally just tap along the edge. It'll get a bit messy. The base will go weird, your shadow will go weird, but it's just so it doesn't leave a harsh line. And I'd go in with whatever colour. You can use the deepest colour, you can use the purple. I'm going to use the GG shade and just lightly pat and kind of brush on the edge just before it dries, because when it starts drying, it's not going to dry fully, but when it's partially dry, it's going to leave such a harsh line that you don't want, really. That's basically the eye shadow part done. I'm going to add some glittery parts to this. I don't know what yet though. I'm actually going to use some shimmers. I don't normally use shimmers, but I've been trying to use them a bit more lately. So I'm going to go into Pink Rose, which is this rose gold shade. I'm going to take it dry first, just on any flat brush, and I'm going to start just patting it on to the base. Normally I use pigments like loose ones because they just stick better to the bases, but I have a lot more shimmers than I do pigments, so I might as well use them. I'm going to take the Glow Up shade on another flat brush and just put this on the very inner corner. I have a feeling this is not going to show up. So that shimmer shade is nice, but it's not foily. I need like a foil, you know what I mean, like very pigmented shimmer. Yeah, not something with just a little bit of shine on it. It's okay, we'll add a pigment to it as long as the base is kind of set with the shimmer and it won't crease anymore. That's all we want. I don't think I've even ever done any eyeshadow looks just like this one, you know, like the burgundy. This is your very 2016 makeup. This is very modern renaissance kind of look that I never actually got to do. So now for pigments, I'm just going to take some peaches and cream pigments. They're just the only pigments I really use. I'm going to take Pixie on a quite fluffy brush, but you know, a bit flat. Oh, I've taken way too much. And I'm just going to dabble this just on top just to give it a bit more of a glitter effect, just a bit more, just a bit of a push, just make it look a bit better. And for the inner corner part, I'm going to take Gatsby, which is this very, very glittery, almost too glittery. And I'm just going to take some of that on a pencil brush and put it on the inner half, or the inner quarter bit. Now I've basically done one eye fully done. I'm going to do the other eye off camera, then I'll come back to show you the autumn, fall, winter face. Right, so I've done both eyes now. I have words, come on words. So now I've done both eyes, I put a little bandana on just to get the hair out of my face, and we're ready for some skin. Oof. So to start off, I'm going to go with the ordinary little foundation. This is £5. I think it's like £6. It's from £4 to £6. It depends on what website you go on. Just dot it out, and then I'm taking this little blending brush. It's a bit dense, from Peaches and Cream, and I'm just going to pat this into the skin. So when I buffed it out with a brush, I take a little damp sponge. This is from Real Techniques. And I just dab all over the face, very lightly. Just because with a brush there can be little streak marks, there can be little bits and bobs you've missed. Now we're going to go on to concealer, so I'm going to use the e.l.f. 16 hour. I thought it was 24, I've been lying to people. This is a 16 hour e.l.f. concealer. Now with this one, it is matte. And I'm just going to very quickly plop some on underneath. And then I'm going to blend it out with a blender straight away, because this one dries down really fast. But with this concealer, because it's so full coverage, I don't need to use half as much as some of the other concealers I have. And for contouring, I'm just going to take this Revolution Stick Foundation. Don't know if to do this anymore. I can't find it in Superdrug, can't find it in Boots, can't find it anywhere. I got this off Amazon, and I'm sure you can get it on the website. They don't do it on Beauty Bay or anything like that. But it's £5. And I use it for contouring. A lot of drag queens use it for foundation, but it's not really the best foundation for me. It's a bit too greasy. This is in the shade F13, by the way. And I'm going to take another brush. It is, I think it is. This is the same as the foundation brush, just a different one. And I use it for contouring. So I'm just going to dabble on and buff it in. You can use a sponge if you want. I normally go in with a sponge after, just like the foundation. Just with a brush, it doesn't really take away any of the products. And you've got a bit more control over what you're doing with a brush. Now for powder, I'm just going to take the RCMA powder, just a loose, translucent one. This is from Beauty Bay as well, and it's very translucent. You know, because normally you get powders that are not translucent at all. This one is. I'm going to take a little domed brush first. I'm just going to pat this under the eyes, because they're always the first to crease. It's where the eyeshadow is. That's why everyone sets under there first, because it's always the first to get ruined. And then with a bigger brush, just any brush you can find, as long as it's fluffy, I just pat all over the rest. So we've set the face. I have also topped up the brows with a little more dip brow, just to put the strokes back in, nothing special. I'm going to go in with some foundation powders. So I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix setting powder. This is in NW15, not NC. I use NW because it's got a pink undertone to it, whilst NC has got a golden yellow. I'm just putting this on the highlight areas just to add that colour back, add the contrast. And then for foundation powder, I'm using NW30. I used to use NC30, it made me look really weird. This is not my skin tone at the moment. This is a very me tanned. So do mind the colour difference. It's not that different, but you know. Just to hide any lumps and bumps and hairs that I've not shaved off properly, like these ones. And then just blending it with the highlights. Just no harsh lines or anything. Now for contouring, I'm just going to take a light bronzer first. This is a Peaches and Cream bronzer. These are actually brand new. They came out, I don't know, like last month, maybe the month before. I don't know when they came out. but it's a light medium bronzer, and I'm taking it on a P. Louise brush. And I'm just gonna brush over the contour we've already done, because we've already contoured the face. We've already done all the shape work. We just need to bronze up a bit, bring some colour back, and make sure it blends with all the other powders. And then I'm gonna go in with a deeper bronzer. So this is MAC's Dark Tan. It's my favourite bronzer. This is my favourite bronzer of all time. It's very orange, I'll say. It's not too deep, but it's just orange. Taking it on an angled brush, and I'm gonna put it right on the inner bits of them contours. And then for the lips, I do contour my lips because I've got big lips, you know, but they're not really Instagram lips, are they? They're not Insta lips. So I'm gonna take some contour, and I'm only taking the light one on the same small brush. I'm going underneath my entire lip. I'm gonna also go on top. I'm basically just lining my lips with a contour. And for blush, I'm gonna take this little palette. This is from BH Cosmetics. It's cheap. BH Cosmetics they do all the blushes that I like, just because they're really cheap, and blush is blush. I mean, you don't need an expensive blush. When I see people like Gucci blush, I'm like, what's the point? It doesn't even show up in a way. I'm gonna take Mykonos, which is, or Mykonos. It's just a very subtle peachy blush. I'm gonna just pat it ever so lightly along the contour edge. I'm basically blending the highlight into the contour with this. So not too much. I mean, this palette's very pigmented, so be a bit careful. I also take it onto the forehead. People know this by now. I do put blush on the forehead. I'm basically blending the highlight with the contour with the blush in between. And for highlight, I'm just gonna quickly spritz some, oh, I'm not using that one. I'm gonna quickly spritz my face with some little spray, just so all that kind of melts together. I'm gonna use a Doll Beauty highlighter, which is a little duo palette. It's got Shine Bright and Like a Diamond in it. I'm gonna take this fluffy brush, which I actually used yesterday for blood, don't ask. And I'm gonna take a mixture of both of them and lightly put it right on the cheekbone there. Just build it up, because this highlight is very intense. I don't want to bring it all the way down, I want to place it right on that edge. So that's basically it for the face part. Now it's just time to finish off the under eyes and lips. So for the under eyes, I'm just going to use the same shadows on top that I did underneath. So I'm going to take some of the brown shades on the same brush and just take that underneath the eye. I'm not going to take this all the way in. I'm literally just going to take it about 2/3 of the way in. And to blend it out, I'm taking the GG shade, same brush as last time, and just basically put it on top of the shade that you've just done. I don't put it underneath, because if you do that, your under eye is going to go all the way down. Just put it on top, because when the size of your brush changes, it's just going to work in a way. So don't worry about any fussy stuff. And then I'm not going to go through every single colour. There's no point. So I'm going to take the peach shade and just blend out the entire under eye. I'm just taking the smallest amounts first, because if you go too heavy, all the fallout will come down and it will just look like you've been punched. Then just add in a pinch of black eyeshadow just onto the very outer corner, just to give it some definition. It's basically a cheat way of doing it. It's basically a cheat way of doing like eyeliner and stuff. Just do use black eyeshadow, who cares? And then for the inner corner, I'm going to take whatever was left on the brush from the pigment on the inner corner and just dab it and drag it in. So now it's time for lips. So I have a new liner, I have a new lip liner. Ooh, ooh. So I'm going to take the P. Louise lip liner. It doesn't have, oh, it does have a name. Oh my God. After all this time, I thought it didn't have a name. This is the P. Louise lip liner in Achievements. It's one of them twisty up ones. I'm just going to overline my lips. Do you remember back in the day when I used to draw my lips like basically a clown? I mean, not back in the day, it was like beginning of this year. I'm I'm gonna take these, oh, I don't know what lips I'm gonna do yet. I might do Doll Beauty, but I might do MAC. Let me just, oh my god, they're the same shade. They had the exact same shade. I'm gonna take the MAC lipstick in Velvet Teddy. This, I've had this for years. Definitely a favourite. Just plop this on. I don't know if you can tell, but that is like my perfect match. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go with 1999. I think I'm gonna go a bit more mauve. So I'm just gonna put this on. This is from Peaches and Cream. They're quite sticky. And I'm just gonna fix my lip line with the liner because I've messed up a bit. So lips done. I think it's perfect. I think them lips and this eye, they're just like this desk. These lips and this eye is just a perfect combo. Now obviously we're missing lashes. The most important part to any look. I can't do a look without lashes. Imagine makeup without lashes. For lashes, I'm using Doll Beauty's lashes. They're in Alexandra and Esmeralda, I believe. They just do the best lashes. I mean, we've moved on from the 301 drag lash. We've gone on to more feminine. I mean, these are still pretty huge. But we've moved on to more natural-ish lashes. Natural woman, that's why. Now, I am going to apply these off camera. I'm using the Doll Beauty lash glue if anyone's interested what glue I'm using. I'm going to do my lashes off camera and then I'm going to put some hair and some outfit on. So let me go do that and I'll be back in 2 seconds. I've finally done this autumn fall inspired kind of glam. It's perfect for this time of year. It's all the products I used are on the cheaper side as well, so they help you guys out a lot. I think every product was pretty cheap. I'm pretty sure every product you can get in Superdrug or Boots or something like that. So thank you guys for watching another one of my tutorials. I will see you all on the next video. Bye guys.